Canada is Jackpot gang. the Hi guys, welcome again to my YouTube channel. My name is Olaitan AK. If you're a new subscriber, you're welcome. And to my old subscribers, thank you so much for the love and the support this past week. In today's video, I'll be guiding you how to choose a study destination. Okay, so let's go right ahead. Did you know that it's very important for you to do a proper research and be guided when you're looking at a country as your study destination? Now, there are three major countries that international students opt for when they're looking for a destination for study. Those three countries are the US, the UK, and Canada. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through three guides that can help you to choose the best place for your study. So let's jump ahead into the video. Now, when looking at a destination of study, the first question you want to ask yourself is funding. Now, for funding, are you looking at being self-funded, or you are looking for scholarships and tuition waivers and all of those perks that can help you to reduce the burden of going to school or going to graduate school? Okay, so that's the first question you want to ask yourself if you're um, willing to sponsor yourself or you're looking for destinations where you can get funding. So the first country, now let's look at UK. Now, the UK also, of course, has scholarships. However, many of the scholarships are very, very limited. And of course, when scholarships are limited like that, they are always very competitive. Okay, there are scholarships in the UK that you can apply for, but you know that if you're looking to applying for those scholarships, you have to make sure that you have some very competitive edge, and you know that you have found out everything it entails to get those scholarships. Okay, I'll also do a list of some scholarships that you can get in the UK at in some other videos. So in the UK, for example, they are scholarships, but I said they are very limited scholarships, and for these scholarships, they are very competitive. But I must also say that for the scholarships in the UK, when you get the scholarships, they always go all the way, which includes, taking the cost of flights and all that. But however, like I said, the funding or scholarships in the UK are quite limited. Okay, so looking at Canada also for funding and scholarships. Canada also has funding and scholarships as well. Many of these countries do have them, but they are also very limited, like I said, and they are also very competitive. Okay, so if you know that you really are looking for how to be funded, the US, for example, has the highest number of funding and scholarships anywhere in the world. Okay, so that is one information I want you to note, that if you're someone who is not looking at self-funding, okay, especially if you're a first generation college student or however it is, or you are not sure of having sponsors to fund you through school, if you're going to look at funding and paying for your fees, the US is one destination that has the highest number of scholarships amongst all these destinations that I have talked about. Okay, so the US has more scholarships in terms of tuition waivers, in terms of partial and fully funded scholarships, and of course assistantships. The US has that, so that is for funding. So you know that you have to ask yourself how much money you have, and if you're willing to fund yourself through school. Okay, and this is very important to know because I've had people tell me that, I'm not here for all of this scholarship thing. You just, just tell me what to do, and I have my money to pay, the odogus, right? So if you know that you have, you are willing to fund yourself through school, the UK might be a good destination for you to look at, because the admission process is quite easy, okay, so long as the you have the money to sponsor yourself through school. So the next point I'm going to be looking at is economic opportunity or economic advantage. Now, okay, the purpose of going to graduate school or even going to school at all is because you want to give yourself that edge. You want to be properly positioned to take up jobs that are very lucrative, or jobs that can help you to be financially stable. Now, the first thing for the UK, the advice I will always say is that if you're looking at economic opportunity for the UK, you also have to be very strategic in choosing the course of study. Okay, I know that when it comes to job opportunities and all that, the job opportunities in the UK are usually centered around finance, tech, and healthcare. So, if you want to position yourself for economic opportunities, especially if you're funding yourself through school, you might want to look at those areas that will give you opportunity to take on a lucrative job or career after you have sponsored yourself through school. Now for Canada, of course, Canada also has economic opportunities. A wide range of companies where you can be employed even as an international student um, after you have completed your studies. And I even know that during the course of your studies, I know that international students can take up some form of job, some form of employment. So Canada also has those opportunities, but I know that for Canada, I know that, for example, they have a higher pay than UK, okay, in terms of salary. So that is an advantage that Canada might have over the UK in terms of pay, okay. So you might also want to look at that when you're considering um, which country to choose. And then lastly, for the US, in terms of economic opportunity, the US is also known as the land of opportunities. So when people say that, you already know what that means, right? The In terms of salaries in the US is higher than the UK and Canada, okay? And after school, there are a wild range of jobs and opportunities that you can take up um, after you have completed your degree in the US. Okay, so there are a lot of companies, there are a lot of tech companies. There are different, there are a wide range of jobs in different areas. Okay, that is not just limited to particular areas. Okay, so there are diverse opportunities for you to take up. And remember, and also, in terms of salaries in the US, of course, is higher than UK and Canada. So, lastly, the the last point is immigration opportunities. Now, for a lot of people, this is one very important area they're always looking to when looking at a country to choose for study. Now, for the UK, recently the UK had this 2 years post-study visa. So, and for this, there's been a very high influx of students, going to the UK and choosing the UK as a study destination. So, and also because students can, travel with their families while they are studying. So this has made the UK a good destination for students recently. Okay, so if you're looking at immigration, if you want your family to be with you while you are studying, the UK is a good place that you can look at. Okay, but remember, as I said, you have to make sure that you are you prepare, you are well funded for your studies, and you can also fund your family while you're there. Okay. And I also know that there's a sponsorship or a tier 2 visa that students can apply for after their study. However, I I advise that when you're going to these destinations, especially when you're traveling with your family, it's important that you have enough funds, right? I know people always say things that, oh, when you get there, you would hustle and all that. Now, always remember that in most of these countries, students are usually given 20 hours of work during school time. Okay. And I know that in these countries, for example, the UK, the dependents of students can work unlimited hours. But irrespective of that, I think it's also advisable that for example, you are able to pay a good part of your tuition before you arrive, okay? And you're also able to save up some money for yourself so that if you're there with your family while you're studying, you do not have to, go through too many difficult times to while you're studying that might affect your studies. So that is just my advice. Okay, a lot of people say, oh, when you get there you also, well, that might be possible, but the advice is always that it's good for you to to pay a good part of your tuition. That will limit the burden for you even while you're working, to make up the rest of your tuition, and especially when you're there with your family. So for Canada, in terms of immigration, of course, Canada is Jackpot gang. The Canada by force by fire. Now, a lot of people know that immigration in Canada has a high, immigration volume or numbers, and a lot of students are able to get a permanent residency while they are studying, even before they graduate their studies. However, this is not automatic, right? So people choose Canada as a destination because of the immigration opportunities and all that. So if that is what you're looking for, but I will also advise that you should as well, have enough money to be able to for your tuition, for example, because like I said earlier, the funding or scholarships are also limited. Okay, so you have enough money or enough funding to take from your country, right? And ensure that you're actively involved in anything that will help to support or to support your immigrations. However, people have advised that the best route is still through the permanent residency, or yes, the PL route, if you're looking at immigrating to Canada, because while you're a student, you will be on a temporary visa or something. I'm not too sure about that. I'll get the details, and that limits you in particular things and certain things, especially when it has to do with healthcare. So the final one, the US for immigration. Now, the US is very good in terms of funding, like I said earlier, and economic opportunities. However, for immigration, um, it's not as easy as the other two countries as that I've mentioned. It's possible, and of course, it works, especially when people graduate and it gets, he gets jobs in companies that sponsor them. However, it could take some time in the US, but if you're willing and you can be patient through it, I mean, it usually happens and it's always for good. But it's also advised that these immigration opportunities are um, for um, for if you're looking to do a PhD, for example, um, before you finish your studies, because a PhD studies in the US is about 4 to 5 years. Before you finish your studies, there's you can walk through um, towards getting a you can walk through the NIW route, which is something I'm going to talk about. It's a whole thing, and I will talk about that at some other time. Okay, so when you're doing a PhD, before you finish your studies, you can get the possibility of an immigration opportunity. But when you're doing a master's, for example, which is shorter, um, that might take some time, for that to happen. So that is all for this video when it has to do with looking at what to check when you're looking for a country or as your study destination. I hope video has been very useful for you. If there are any other details I've left out, okay, please drop that for me in the comment section, and also tell me which gang are you in the comment section. Are you the UK, Canada, or the US gang? Okay, thank you for staying with me